You've been pretty selfish at this point your whole entire career. What have you done for a lot of fighters? This would be a powerful statement for you to join. So stop it. Stop running. Stop hiding. Stop being selfish. We need all the help we can get in making this union. Conor McGregor, that's the message.
Jake Paul, self-declared king of cringe and expert in shameless self-promotion, made headlines once again on December 29, 2024. Via Instagram, he unveiled his next target, none other than Conor McGregor. Yes, that Jake Paul, the former YouTube personality turned boxer, genuinely believes he's on the brink of redefining sports history. But in truth, he's dragging boxing's already delicate image even lower with what can only be described as another circus-like stunt.
Conor, you're saying the interest is low for the fight.
The interest is low and I don't know. I don't understand.
Let's pause for a second and just appreciate how utterly ridiculous this fight really is. On one hand, we've got Jake Paul, a man whose entire boxing identity is built on people tuning in just to see him humiliate himself.
Talking of professional boxers, the next fight could potentially be a professional boxer. I'm just getting started. I'm 26 years old and there's only so much I can do.
A real boxer? Is that what we're calling this now? This is the same guy who boasts an 11-1 record, achieved mostly by knocking out retired MMA veterans. Somehow, Jake has tricked himself and, alarmingly, a segment of the public into thinking he's a genuine sportsman. His so-called crowning moment? Beating Anderson Silva, a legend who at that point was nearly ready for retirement benefits. And we can't skip his most recent so-called win over a 58-year-old Mike Tyson, who probably spent more hours marketing his cannabis line than actually preparing to fight. Well done, Jake, truly revolutionary.
In terms of like face-off views, this is, in my mind, the biggest fight the world will ever see.
They know that it's just like hard to handle for them because they've been like in the spotlight.
Now, let's bring in Conor McGregor, once a trailblazer in the UFC, now more recognizable as a whiskey brand mascot than an actual athlete. Sure, McGregor was once a dual-division UFC champ, but that was ages ago. His career flatlined after 2017 when Floyd Mayweather toyed with him for 10 rounds before ending the farce. Since that beatdown, McGregor's activity in the octagon has been as inconsistent as Jake Paul's humility, essentially non-existent. Instead of fighting, he's been busy pushing Proper 12 whiskey and thirst trapping on social media. His last notable sports moment? A broken leg in 2021. And now we're expected to buy the idea that he's stepping into the ring to box with the king of YouTube trolling? Okay, sure. Let's not sugarcoat it, this isn't about, it's a financial heist. The media calls it the fight of the century, but what it really is? A cash grab of the century. Projections say it could pull in a jaw-dropping $250 million. Just so a social media star and a semi-retired MMA fighter can slap gloves for a few rounds. Forget legacy. Forget skill. Forget meaningful competition. This fight exists purely to stir controversy and move pay-per-views. Boxing's new slogan might as well be, why chase greatness when drama sells better?
In insane shape.
Man, I wish Conor wasn't doing these stuff.
And behind this spectacle is the mastermind bankrolling the show, Indian billionaire Anant Ambani, using the event as a flashy way to boost tourism to India. Because clearly, nothing says come visit India like watching two millionaires swing wildly at each other in a jam-packed stadium, right? The event's slated for Mumbai's Wankhede Stadium, which can host 33,000 spectators but is really banking on millions of global viewers, aka willing suckers, via pay-per-view. Let's not forget the build-up to the fight, which resembles a cringe-worthy episode of bad reality television. Jake Paul has been taunting McGregor for years, throwing digital tantrums, hurling online insults, acting like a spoiled brat who didn't get dessert. With his obnoxious videos and relentless trash talk, Jake has done everything but literally show up at Conor's front door with a bullhorn. And Conor? Instead of brushing him off like most of the world wisely has, he took the bait. Now we're all forced to witness these two grown men turn professional boxing into a sideshow. This isn't about talent or sporting honor, it's about Jake Paul fueling his already bloated ego and cashing in on his thirst for attention. As for McGregor? He's probably just relieved he won't have to face a ferocious young UFC contender who could actually knock him into next year. Instead, he gets a massive payday for exchanging light jabs with a YouTuber who sees boxing gloves more as Instagram props than sporting equipment. Jake, naturally, claims he's taking the bout seriously because of course, he would say that. He can't even upload an Instagram story without boasting about how intense his training is, as though 15 seconds of shadowboxing somehow rewrites years of clownish behavior. Supposedly, he's been training again since early January 2025, with a focus on agility and speed. Sounds convincing, on paper. But at the end of the day, it's still Jake Paul. The guy who thinks a flashy workout montage automatically makes him the second coming of Muhammad Ali. Yes, he's training under BJ Flores, a respectable coach. But let's not get carried away, a competent trainer doesn't suddenly transform Jake into a legitimate contender. His real skill? Convincing the masses he's an athlete while sidestepping any real threats who might expose him as what he truly is. Then we've got Conor McGregor, attempting a comeback that borders on the miraculous after shattering his leg like a dollar store pencil in 2021. To his credit, McGregor is no stranger to hard work. He's spent years rehabilitating, now trying to translate his MMA prowess into boxing effectiveness. Admirable, yes. But let's not ignore what's right in front of us. His last real boxing attempt was back in 2017. You remember Floyd Mayweather's sparring session disguised as a fight. Conor's been away from boxing for years, and while his grit is commendable, there's real doubt as to whether his body can still support his ambitions. The heart's still there, no doubt. The bigger question is, do his legs still have it in them? Physically, the matchup is a strange one. Jake Paul stands at 6 feet 1 inch and tips the scales at roughly 190 pounds, giving him a notable size advantage. But size doesn't equal skill. That extra weight and reach might work against ex-MMA stars and faded celebrities, but McGregor has faced real fighters with real pedigrees. Jake's biggest challenge so far? A nearly 60-year-old Mike Tyson, more focused on weed branding than boxing gloves. Just think about that for a moment. Then we have the odds. Jake is actually favored at minus 175, while McGregor is the underdog at plus 155. Yes, you read that correctly, the internet personality is expected to beat Conor McGregor. If that doesn't make you question everything about modern boxing, nothing will. Sure, Jake's younger and heavier, but let's not forget his resume was built on opponents who were too old, too small, or just plain irrelevant. And what do the so-called experts say? Paulie Malignaggi, always one for a controversial soundbite, claims Jake might knock Conor out. Yes, the same Jake Paul who used to prank his neighbors is being talked up as a KO machine against one of MMA's most recognized faces. If that doesn't make your stomach turn, what will? Meanwhile, ex-UFC champ Eddie Alvarez pointed out the legal gymnastics needed for Conor just to enter this fight. UFC contracts are notoriously restrictive, and Dana White isn't exactly eager to let his stars chase clout alongside YouTubers. Fans? They're split down the middle. Jake's die-hard supporters are calling this his moment of vindication, while Conor's faithful just want to see Jake finally get humbled. The rest of us? We're just groaning, watching boxing devolve further into pay-per-view parody. Let's not fool ourselves, this match isn't happening because it makes sense in any athletic dimension. It's happening because it's going to rake in ungodly amounts of cash. This is sports theater at its finest. Jake Paul gets to inflate his self-worth by pretending to be a prizefighter. McGregor earns a massive paycheck without risking another injury from a real UFC opponent. And the viewers? We get a front-row seat to the continued transformation of boxing into reality television. Whether Jake wins or Conor pulls off a return to form, the only real victor here is the bank account. Because make no mistake, this was never about boxing. It's about who can market controversy the loudest. And when it comes to selling hype, these two are undefeated.
What do you think about Conor tweeting still at like 3 a.m. like coked out?
He sent shots at me and Ryan talking shit. It's crazy coming from Conor, who literally got out of the USADA pool to do legit steroids. And I was the biggest Conor fan for a long time. In the last couple weeks, ever since he sent that, I've been trying to hate him. I've been trying to be like, fuck you, Conor. I can't. I love him.
If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to TKO Edge for more knockout content. From fight breakdowns to real-time reactions, we've got it all right here. Until next time, stay sharp, stay strong, and keep your guard up.